Remember, in the last video we had the problem that upon clicking save, the messages don't get added here. Though, as we can see in the console log, we clearly are creating them. They are getting added to this array. In the last video I explained that the array we use in the message list component gets assigned the same array we use in the service so that it should automatically update. Why is this not happening? Well, let's go back to the video where I showed the slides about dependency injection. There I also explained that we can inject or that we can provide such a service on a per component basis or a per application basis. Actually, there's even a bit more to it. The Angular 2 dependency injector, which we're using here, is a hierarchical injector, which means it can be set up in a way to give us one instance of this message service for all our components, or only for some, or one instance per component. Right now we're in the one instance per component mode, which explains why we're not seeing the messages. The message service we're using in the message list component simply is a different one than the one in the message input component. Angular 2 creates two instances of the service. This might be the behavior we want, but here it is not. Instead, we want to use the same instance. Now, since the injector is hierarchical, we can simply remove the provider setup here in the message input component and also in the message list component. So after removing it in both components, let's go to the app component, which holds the input and list component, and let's add it here. Here in the app component, let's add the providers array message service. Also add the import, of course. What this will do is it will create one single instance of this message service for the app component and this is important, all its child components. So for all the components we use in the app component, namely the input and list. So now the input and list component will share the same instance of the service, which should now lead to this desired behavior that if we update this array in this instance, it is updated in the other component as well. So if I save this and then we reload this application here, let's clear the console and try this again. Now you can see the new message indeed gets added because now we set this up in a way that this now works in the desired way and we're using the same instance of the service with the same messages array for both the input and the list component.